Hey, what's up, my people? How you doing? My name is Dalton, and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Hey, this is going to be a video about the latest news in the United States, as well as the fourth stimulus package, which has not been passed yet. Okay, and some money that's flowing to different states and may flow to different states that are kind of like stimulus checks for those states. Okay, so you might want to check this video out all the way to the end because your state may be called or maybe some information that can help you. Okay, and you're gonna hear on a lot of different uh, YouTube channels and other channels as well that's not YouTube about stimulus checks. Okay, this is not the fourth stimulus check that you're waiting on. The one that use the big ones that usually come from the government. That's not what they're talking about. So there's a lot of confusion there, and I'm going to do my best to straighten it out for you. All right. So let's do this. First of all, what has happened is a large amount of money has been granted, okay, from the Senate to add more money into depleted funds, okay, and these depleted funds were already passed on the third stimulus check. On the third stimulus package. And what I mean by that is that, like if you were looking for rent and they told you they ran out, you're looking for help with utilities, they ran out. Food banks may not have had enough money or they ran low on food. Anything such as that. Well, I believe it's about 12 or 13 billion dollars has been given to those funds from the third stimulus package that has already been passed. Okay, so to give you an example, there was a fund called Community Cares in Oklahoma that literally would pay your rent, whether you're in a house or apartment, for a year. You sign up for it. Well, that went real quick. Well, that new infusion, or if that's even a word, I messed that word up, but you got a new flow of money that was given to those programs of the third stimulus package. You might want to go ahead and reapply again because you probably get accepted because now they have more money where they were depleted before. I hope that makes sense. Now that's the third stimulus package that's already been passed. Okay. Now, here's some states. I'm gonna give you an example. Here's some states that are working on giving state stimulus checks, or stimulus checks, or checks that are similar to stimulus checks, but it's given to you by the state. And these are programs that are currently being worked on, okay, but not by the government, okay. And I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. But before I say any more, let me tell you that if you are on Social Security and all right, you can expect your COLA, cost of living adjustment, to go up to 8.6. So you're going to be getting in 2023, which means you're going to get even more money than you're getting. So look for that. Okay, those are on Social Security. You understand what I'm talking about. Okay, now here's an example. Okay, Alaska, they're working on. If you live in Alaska, your state is working on giving you two checks. Okay, that equals out to $5,500. This is not coming from the government. This is from the state. If you're in California, they're working on giving you all $400 because of the high price of gas. per car, limited up to 2 cars. Okay. Indiana, they're working on giving you a $125 tax refund. This has nothing to do with your tax refund. This is just money that will come to you, check, debit, or direct deposit to help you because of inflation. Kentucky, okay, they're thinking about giving you a one-time. These are things in progress. Okay, they're working on. Okay, it hasn't been official yet. They're giving you a one-time $500 payment. Maine, they're working on giving you a one-time $800 payment. New Mexico, they're also working on giving you a one-time $250 payment. Now, if you're in Hawaii, you wonder why they getting so much money. Hawaii is expensive, people. Okay, yes, it's part of the United States, but it's very, very expensive. Okay, so if you live in Hawaii, you already know. Okay, so it may sound like a lot of money, but if you understand how their economy goes, you understand. Okay, it's about average. Yeah, I mean, it definitely would help people, no doubt, but it is about average. Now, those are just some of the states. Okay, so when you're hearing people saying that there are stimulus checks in every single state in the United States right now, they're not lying, but they're not talking about the federal government stimulus checks you get with the fourth, like you should get with the fourth stimulus package. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, they're not talking about these are checks and ability to give money for things you need that's offered by your state. Whether it's a red state or a blue state is irrelevant because all the United States is dealing with the pain of inflation. Okay, I'll give you an example. Recently, and I'm sure you all heard about this, whether you got stocks or not, 3 days straight, the stocks were down. Okay, I'm talking all the big tech companies. Okay, Amazon, Apple, Google, Alphabet, even the little tech companies they have on their umbrella. Within 3 days, all of them lost $1 trillion. Anything I'm telling you, you can fact check. What I mean by fact check, I mean go to Google and type it in. Did tech companies lose $1 trillion? It'll pop up. Okay, they lost $1 trillion. Okay, it's going to be a hard time for them to rebound from that. You have to understand that, as we used to say, this is going to be hell to tell the captain. Okay, because everybody's all the people have all the stockholders are on their backs, and these big companies, tech or not, give money to politicians, okay, that's running to be elected or be reelected, whether it's midterms in November or even in 2024. And when they hurt, they let the other people know, the people in power know they're hurting. Why am I telling you this? Because recently something happened where, I mean, the chances of you getting a stimulus check was very low, and nothing really was going on with the Democrats. They weren't passing the fourth stimulus package. People were acting a fool. And then I don't want to talk about the subject on my channel, but it does come up in this situation. Some leaked documents got leaked, okay, that created and is still creating a uproar, okay? And the Democrats thought that, okay, well, we really don't have to do anything. We could collect checks And all we got to tell the people to do, if they want this particular items changed, these leaked documents, all we got to tell them to do is just make sure you vote Democrat. Okay? They had it smoothed out, and they were still collecting the checks and not doing anything about the fourth stimulus package. Then something happened. And let's get it straight. It's two people's faults. The person over the feds, okay, over the Fed, or federal, federal money, and Joe Biden. Everything was in place. Everything would have worked out. You had great minds putting stuff in place. And Joe Biden decided to eliminate things that were in place so that he can have more money to do the things he felt he wanted to do. Okay? Such as recently, he gave $40 billion to Ukraine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying my sympathy is not with those who are at war. No matter what side it's in. War is hell. And it causes a lot of pain. And I'm not going to choose sides. But, as you know, I always say you need to take care of home first. Okay? And recently, Joe Biden gave $40 billion over to Ukraine. He signed it out. Okay? Not doing anything about the borders of Washington State, up there by Seattle, or down here, Mexico and Texas. Not doing anything about it. Even though he said he would. Not doing any type of executive orders to help American people. There's things he could do. Trust me. And and all those Democrats not passing the fourth stimulus package yet. Nevertheless, inflation brought reality down to everybody. Okay, you can't ignore it anymore. America's in trouble. Okay, bottom line. So, because of that, the way they thought they were going to get them votes and just sit back and collect that check has changed. Why am I telling you this? There's a rhyme to my reason. I'm telling you this because now midterm votes are coming up all over the United States, which means that's usually the time when people show, that's the power that Americans have, when they show that they're not happy with whoever is in power, which is the Democrats right now, and how they're doing their job. Okay? So because of and also early voting, okay, for the, I believe early voting for the November is coming up to people, but don't quote me on that. I have to double check on that one. I think it is so. So because of that, and the plan that they already had fell through, and because of inflation, the chances of you getting and them passing that fourth stimulus check package is going to be higher than it was before that $1 trillion loss to the tech companies. And because now they realize you in power can make them lose their jobs. And you know who's in power right now? The Democrats. Okay? You can make them lose their jobs. And they understand that. You can make them lose their power. They understand that. So it really isn't about you. It's really about them keeping their comfort. And their comfort is in jeopardy because the United States economical state is in jeopardy. Okay? Inflation. You can't ignore it anymore. It's hurting everybody. And you know how it is. Like when they had the AIDS epidemic and it was hitting the poor, or the crack epidemic and it was hitting the poor, that situation wasn't an epidemic until it started hitting the rich. You see what I'm saying? And now these problems are hitting the rich. Now we got to do something about it. And the fastest way to do something about this situation is an influx of money. I'm talking uh, child tax credits. I'm talking stimulus checks. Okay, I am not talking about extra money on unemployment. Okay, but the quickest way to do that to help stop the inflation is stimulus checks and child tax credit and passing a fourth stimulus package. Okay, because that's the only way they're gonna even have a halfway way of saving their butts. Okay, and I don't mean to be cruel, sound cruel, saying, well, uh, you know, it's not about us, but honestly, it's not. It's really about them and the people in power and all these powerful businesses. When they hurt, okay, the Senate, whoever, whether it's conservative, liberal, independent, they depend on that money from these big companies so they can run, so they can run and win. Okay, those ads you see, they're not free. All right, so the chances of them hurrying up and actually getting off their butts and passing that fourth stimulus package, I think is much higher than 50%, like it was, much higher. And the chance of a stimulus check being in there, I'm not talking about multiple, I'm talking about a stimulus check being there, is considerably higher too. Okay? And the rumor is that they're supposed to try to get together and work on something and let's try to start back to pass the fourth stimulus package at the end of May or the beginning of June. Okay? Because people are voting now. And they're mad at who's in power. Because all the time while you're suffering, those in power are still collecting checks, eating $10 to $12 ice cream. While you're wondering if you're going to be able to make it to work because you can't afford to put at least 1 gallon of gas in your car. So that's my update on the fourth stimulus package and also the third stimulus package. Because if you did apply in the past at food banks or to get help on rent, whether it's a house or apartment, and now there's money that's supposedly being sent out even if you live in a mobile home. Okay, so a house, apartment, mobile home. Okay, and they were out before. Check again now. I always tell you, hit up your United Way. You know what I'm saying? Hit them up. Hit up all these places. Don't just call one place and stop. I've done that. Okay, don't be me. Okay, you have to call. It's a numbers game. Okay, all right. Don't just call one place and stop. Call multiple places, and it's almost a guarantee, especially when it comes to food, that you're going to get a yes, and that's going to be worth your time for calling. All right, so that's my fourth stimulus package update. I ask you to give us a thumbs up. I ask you to subscribe, and I hope it helps you out. And I want to say hi, Mom, because you told me you wanted me to do a video on stimulus, what's going on, and that's what's going on. And no, the fourth stimulus package has not been passed yet, but there's a good chance that they're going to be working on it and getting off their butts and working on it. All right, and I'll wrap to y'all later. Peace.